Up. Oh, damn. My voice is so shot. Alright, don't worry about it. We're just gonna talk in, like, crazy fucking voice for a bit. But, yeah, I'm back. How's it going? How's it going? Hope everyone's doing well. Fuck. He's been making content. No, I just logged in on this guy while I was gonna sit here and talk. What's up, Chambers, Greaves, DPLs, Randoms, Wild, Twitches, Epsilons, Kaisers? Hope everyone's doing good. Tato, DBL, Romantic. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Yeah. Exciting stuff. I'm very excited for the future of for stuff, you know, when we can actually get to play it. Was it valid? When we get to actually play it is gonna be pretty sick. I can't, yeah, so everything is embargoed regarding certain things, and those things were specifically what I did. So most of the stuff that I did and do have is under embargo. So I have to be somewhat careful of how I talk about anything. Like even my interview with like Jonathan, I didn't record anything when I was doing the interview with him. I just did it like we just chatted. But it was in regards to things that happened that are under the embargo. So I could talk about some stuff. Like I have answers for some things. And I could talk about like general things. Did you even take notes? No, I took notes. I've got like the general outline of like what he said and like what we talked about. Like I've got like a thing on there. And all that stuff. So yeah. I'm useless. Yes, I'm completely useless. Did play on a controller feel better than PoE2? Oh yeah. Controller feels like really, really good for PoE2. I'll just fucking big screen it. Why not? Chat's like way over there now. Because I also got this thing. We got this console playtest Elite Series 2 controller as like a gift. Which is pretty sick. I've heard this thing is pretty cool, so I'm gonna open this now. I'm interested in seeing what it is because it's not a normal.
Impressive, Challenger.
Where is this embargo? Time to get pumped and lifted myself.
Time to lift it yourself. Thank you so much, Spy, for the 35 months. Hold on, let me see. I think we were told specifically when the embargo is. Let me figure that out real quick. When was it? I forgot what it is. The D-pad isn't fully mechanical. Oh, okay, gotcha. That's fine by me. I'm just curious about what it is. Let me see. Do we have? Where is it? No. Okay, here we go. Okay, so there is a media link I can do, and I can show you guys stuff from that, and I can talk about that. That's good. Okay, let me look at that real fast. So I can actually put some stuff from the setup on screen. Sure, we're gonna miss all the deets. Don't worry. I'll be repeating myself multiple times, I'm sure. Okay. So I am embargoed until June 11th of 3 p.m. No, 2 p.m. PDT, so 5 p.m. my time. Okay. Let me just make sure. We'll start event in Korea and they announced new collabs, and one of them is Dave the Diver. Dude, Dave is collabing with everybody. What the fuck? Dave, Dredge has a new thing coming out. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, new DLC. Okay. We'll do that. Yeah, no, it makes sense that they do a Okay, hold on. Let me put on a set where I don't have to skip. I don't want to keep skipping forward. Let me see. I wanna just put on something that's like chill. It's this one. This one works. This one's great. Okay. We can do that. Okay. Okay, cool. This should work. All right, let me just figure stuff out. Welcome back with coffee. Yeah, so basically, I'll open this controller thing first, then we'll see what's in the media kit, and then I can talk about what I can talk about from there, which is nice. You can tell I was like really prepared for this because I like totally am prepared. You know, I'm like the most prepared of all prepared people, right? That's like what happens. Mostly because I just like woke up an hour ago. I got home. I just went to bed. I had to change my flight out yesterday because they offered the interview with Jonathan. I was like, yes, I will totally do that, but like my flight out is at like the wrong time for that to make sense. So let me change stuff around. So I'm like, you'll find lots of pictures, all usable in your content right after the event. The specific folder is not under embargo. Okay, so cool. So this is all usable, and there's even footage. Awesome. Okay, we can do that. Never prepared. I know, right? Let me make sure that I am not. Okay. I had a lot of fun. Yeah, I got to like talk to all the similar-minded and non-similar-minded content creators that were there. Met a bunch of cool folks, shot the shit with them, had some beers, all that stuff. Pretty much all of us are hyped as fuck, which is sick. I flied solo the entire time, and then Catmaster and Balor were right next to me playing co-op, and so I kept like looking over them and talking to them about how they were doing. So I have a general idea and feel of how the co-op is, but I played solo the entire time, which goes back to the whole thing of like why I'm under embargo for everything I did, because I just did one thing. Maurice, I think so. Sounds familiar. Bow build was too fast for co-op. The only thing I can say about my build is that Jonathan was very surprised by my build, and I pretty much did what I did to Elden Ring to Path of Exile 2. I'll say it that way. I pretty much did it wrong. No. Like, as in, like, I did something that was not tested, or like an interaction that was like weird. I'll talk about it later. In terms of just cheesing stuff is what I'm saying. Yeah, I did bossing. Okay. So what's in here? We got ourselves a wire. What else do we have? Just a handy dandy notepad of things. Bad at unboxing. Okay. Everyone likes a wire. And then we have
Nobody ever. All right. It's your
no goobs
funeral.
that I did not.
Acknowledge this message if you played a shape-shifting class and that was the embargoed information.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool color pattern. Okay. So it's, you know, I'm being very, very careful with the whole embargo thing, like what I say, because yeah, reasons. I think it's a bunch of groups for the 44 months and the tier 3. So we got ourselves the Xbox packet controller, and then this is the controller that is. It's a like red Path of Exile 2 specific Xbox 360 Elite controller. That's pretty sick. That's slick as fuck. It's got like the back buttons and everything else red around the thing. The fuck is that D-pad? It's the Elite D-pad, which is what this is. And then it also comes with like, I guess all the extra customizable like swap out buttons and stuff if you want to do that. Which is kind of cool. That's sick. Cool. I'm happy with that. That's pretty sick. Fuck yeah. Now I've got fancy controller. I don't know, I guess I gotta play like Monster Hunter or something on the controller. That's sick. Well, thank you to them for providing that. That's awesome. Yeah, so we can go over what's in the media kit, because that'll let's see what's in here. Illegal to play. So I think that's something that has been addressed in a couple of the interviews so far, right? In terms of hot swappable stuff. It was something that was brought up a lot. Like, a lot of us wanted the ability to swap between the two. But yeah, it's I don't think they confirmed or denied anything. It's just more so it would be cool if doable, but who knows? Because I like, honestly, playing it on the controller, I could totally see myself playing on mouse and keyboard for trading and stuff. Yeah, not likely to be done by early access. Yeah, I could totally see myself playing on mouse and keyboard for inventory management and stuff, and then swap to controller for like general mapping, like not mapping, but like campaign stuff, and then maybe mapping as well. Definitely very good. The elitists who want to swap between them. No, like, honestly, it's just like it was really cool to be able to play on the controller. Like, it just felt nice. It felt nice to play on the controller. Like, how do I describe it? Let me see. Did I get any footage? Is this is this packet? Hold on, let me see. Does this have? This has footage. Okay, there is footage on this. Good. All right. So like the footage from the media kit, right? This is from the media kit itself. So this is fair. This is fair to show, which is nice, I believe. Let me make sure, because it's just the media kit footage. So yeah, couch co-op B-roll, cool. That's in that folder, so I am allowed to show that. Nice. Okay. So this will work to like show off some of the stuff. Full remap public controller is usually acceptable one. Oh yeah. So yeah, well, the thing about like controller play was that, like, if you like, even if you watch the footage, here you won't see it as much because it's I think it's been turned off in this, but auto targeting is very, very potent in terms of the controller play versus like PoE1, right? Where if when I was going through the campaign, if you like walk up to a pack of mobs, you would just auto target like the thing in front of you. But with the the new system they're using for auto targeting. This was one of the things that we had before I went as one of the questions. If you attack something that's ahead of you like this, right, and that thing decides to charge past you, your auto targeting will auto stay locked on to it as it like goes around you. So there's no more like the auto targeting is like a directional code in front of you that seems to then be able to like adjust behind you. So a lot of us that I was talking to people about, we ended up kind of not really using the right stick. Like instead, we didn't really use it as a twin stick. Kind of like like how they were talking about being used. We just kind of used the left stick to move, and then we used all the rest of the buttons to kind of play the game as you would. Yeah, kind of auto shooter style in a way. Because you kind of yeah, it was like really good. For the auto targeting, right? So I had my main skills were on these two buttons. We were playing on a PlayStation controller anyway, but my main skill was on these two. Then I had dodge, heal, dodge, potions were here, and then movement was all done by this stick. I barely ever used this stick at all, because yeah, it was so much nicer to like see a pack of mobs, start casting or attacking at it, and then if something happened, your character would know and kind of like auto follow them, auto track them in a way, so that you could still like stay on focus. So it feels the auto targeting felt so much better than it did in PoE1 when I was going through the campaign. That was actually like one of the biggest surprises for me. For just like how little I ended up using the twin stick. Did I get a movement skill? I did not get a movement skill, no. So I don't know. I had the option of one, but it was used as an attack rather than a movement skill style thing. So I don't actually know what had movement skills, if things did have movement skills. So yeah. No, it is, but it was more so like it was specifically an attack, Catherall. Like it like, yeah, it was specifically an attack. Yeah, it had to target something. So it wasn't a movement skill in the like traditional sense, like we think about like whirling blades or something like that. Dodge was. I'll go over more of dodge on when the embargo lifts. But what I will say is that dodging the footage, my hair grew back in LA. Yeah, I went to visit somebody, got my hair back. So dodging, if they show any dodging here, dodging was something that I brought up to Jonathan, which was dodge doesn't have a cooldown, and the dodge doesn't have any diminishing returns on it. Dodge can be spammed.
Impressive, challenger.
Dink donk.
Dink donk. Thanks so much, Arcane, for the 16 months and not stealing my kidneys. Appreciate that. I got home and slept, like straight up just slept, yeah. This is ever recovery frames. It has a little bit, right? No, Ziggy wasn't there. Ziggy wasn't there. Steel and Ziz wasn't there. Mathel was not there. Alk wasn't there. And no, it was like most of the massive dudes weren't there. It was us of the smaller subsection. We were there, which was cool. Got got to talk to a lot of people of, you know, similar or slightly larger sizes and just chill. One massive dude. Came back from a PoE2 event last night. Oh, really? Oh. He might have been for the other event then. There was so many events going on. Like, there were so many, like, influencers in town. I was like, what? That's crazy. Yeah, so did it have recovery flames? So when you roll, you're immune to hits during the roll. Or not immune, but like, yeah, so you roll and then you're safe for that section, and there's like a little bit of a slow up. Yeah, then there's still a bit of a slow, like you stand up out of it and then you can walk, but then you can roll again. This is the media test kit footage. I'm allowed to show this. This is just from the B-roll for this, so I'm just having it in the background. And then I could look at this and see if I have something I can talk about, because I'm trying to make sure I don't touch the stuff that I can't talk about. But yeah, no. So one of the things that like I was talking to Jonathan about was we talked about the power of rolling and how much he was expecting people to die doing bosses. This was brought up as a result of me not dying to any boss throughout the first 2 acts. I said, it's a, like, are you expecting people to die? He's like, yeah, everyone should be dying 1 to 3 times, like, well, the first time they encounter a boss. I was like, wait, what? I was like, yeah, I didn't die once. I was like, because his thing was he wanted people to, well, he wanted people to, the way he explained it was getting people like kind of accepting of the fact that there will be deaths early on is important, so that they don't go through the beginning of the game in such a way that they never die and then start hitting content that's a bit more difficult and then start dying a lot and getting frustrated. So getting people used to early deaths early on is big and important, because the checkpoint system makes it so that if you die, you're right back in the fight. For newer players, yes. You're right back in the fight, right? You have no. I don't think they had any. Well, I didn't see if there was any penalty to dying, to be like honest, because I didn't die. Yeah. So like, if you die, the checkpoint is outside the boss door, and you go right back in. I was watching people around me, and whenever they, you know, flopped over on a boss, you just right at the doorway and you go right back in. You gotta give it another shot. You've learned the boss's mechanic a little bit more, and you know how to get into it. You can do so much better the second time around. And then, you know, if there's a couple shots in a different phase that you don't think about, you don't see, then you get to have those. All the bosses had like a couple big moves that were like really big. And so the thing I brought up was saying, like, I didn't die to any bosses because of the power of the dodge roll. And I brought it up as a concern, saying, is that like concerning? Like, do you think there should be a cooldown on dodge or anything like that? And he's like, no, because it doesn't feel good to play. If you put a cooldown on the dodge roll, it just doesn't feel good. You don't know when it's already available there. And then the second thing was he doesn't want to look, he's like me. He doesn't want to look down. Like, me and him seem to play the game almost identically, which is he hates looking down and seeing if something's on cooldown, right? That's why he doesn't want to have things like a dodge roll on cooldown like it is in V Rising. Because I brought that up. I was like, in V Rising, the only time you could die is when your dodge was on cooldown. And he's like, yeah, that it feels bad to have to look down and see if something's on cooldown. And so I was like, okay, well, what about the idea of something like, if you roll once, it's at full speed. If you roll again after rolling it, it's at 90% speed, and so on and so forth. And he basically said the same thing of like it kind of comes down to whether or not that feels good, and that probably would start feeling bad at some point. So it's not something he wants to add in. He wants the feel of dodge to be something that you know is there as a toolkit, and he'd rather design the boss fights themselves to be able to do damage or deal damage in different ways. Yeah, so that they know the kit you always have, and then you can design an encounter to be able to kill the player. Yeah, Flame Dash is very similar to that. Yeah, like the first one's like instant, and then do the two slower ones. But that was kind of the reason, and he basically, you know, laughed at the fact that I was able to do what I did. And he you know, he said like that build hasn't been done yet, so it may need tweaking is basically what he said. He's like, we might have to tweak some things there. I was like, okay. Oh yeah, no, Kaiser, it is. It like 100%. Like I definitely made what I would make in PoE1 in PoE2, like straight up. And a Balor was sitting next to me, and like at the end of the playtest, Balor picked up my controller, and like within 30 seconds he got the flow of how my build worked, and he was like, okay, that's a cool build, like it's a cool interaction, and like it had like a great flow. So like, yeah, you can totally make those different types of builds within PoE2 that you can make in PoE1. And the kit you have available to you is definitely there. It's gonna be hard to QA. I broke the game in a way that no one knows how I broke the game as well. They think they have a general idea what I did, but yeah, Octavian's like, yeah, I'm gonna forward that ahead, because I made it so that every time I closed a vendor, like about an hour into my game, every single time I closed the vendor, I would get someone just randomly in, like, it would play a certain text line that just began with shush, like really loud, like 6 times the volume of anything else. So every vendor close was just like shush, shush, shush. Octavian's like, what have you done? So that was fun. But yeah, no, it's just little alpha things. It was just funny. Right, Kethor, yeah. It was with headphones on, yeah. It was with headphones on. It really wanted you to be quiet. Yeah, so that was interesting. What else? Where's my phone? I can. Yeah. Basically the idea is like, something got loaded into the buffer that just never got dropped out of the buffer. Yeah. Did I recommend it? But no, it was good. It was good. It was a very minor glitch. I had very little in terms of like any kind of issues with anything. I think everything worked pretty much as it was supposed to be. It was very smooth throughout the whole thing. So I really didn't have any problems or anything like I needed to think about, other than, you know, my vendors telling me to shush. Let's see, what else can I talk about here? The power of white mobs in PoE2 is a bit different, which was interesting. This came about when I was talking to Jonathan. Where right now in PoE1, a white mob can be like, with like, if you boost the power of a white mob, it kind of boosts everything, and there's a limit of like, let's say 100% power of baseline power that a white mob can go to. With PoE2, they kind of decoupled it, and they can like boost different aspects of white mobs. So some things can be like they can come up as being like 0 power or 10 times the damage power, but then the defense still stays the same, right? Like they have a weird like a way of like scaling everything around in a different way, rather than it being like one big scale for the whole mob. They can tweak certain things of it. So some white mobs are just scary because they do a lot of damage, but otherwise, sometimes they can come up with a bunch of damage, sometimes they don't. Right, Catherine. Yeah. It's more able to like have that one lever that's decoupling those things, so they can do a lot more with that instead of just having like one overall power to everything, which is really good. Does see the right? The camera follows the character. The camera moves, especially when in here in 2-player co-op. You'll see the camera kind of like stretches out and in a little bit, but the camera is always kind of trying to keep you in the center. And so if you start backtracking a little bit, the camera like slightly goes behind you and stuff like that. It's very intuitive. It keeps kind of the focus between your character and the enemy that you're fighting at all times, rather than like having something like walk off screen on you, which is pretty important. So that was definitely the camera work feels very, very good. It's a bit more fluid than the current camera is in PoE1. Correct, Chamber, yes. They're a lot more like the things that the enemies can do are like way better, which is fantastic, because yes, it does allow a lot more like stepped up and different ways of scaling the difficulty and power of the campaign. Yeah. No, they are, Kethel. They are. Yeah, there was mobs that were scary that popped up. Like those slams from something like this, yeah, that would hurt like a fuck ton, but it's a very slow, methodical attack that you can kind of see coming if you're paying attention. So there wasn't much in the way of what I would say like, well, one shots and stuff like that. Right, Kaiser, yeah. The perennial king. So like here, the focus of the camera is on the 2 players as they're moving around, and it moves it in a way that you guys are the center of it, but it's trying to make sure that everything is still otherwise visibly there. Oh, it looks super crisp. Yeah, it looks super clean. The footage I have from my playtest is in 1080p, because my PlayStation defaulted to 1080p instead of 4K. So my footage will not be as crisp looking, but I'm not gonna upload in 4K anyway, so it's fine. I'm more so talking about other stuff. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Okay, I can't talk about that. Oh, okay, yeah, this was an interesting thing. So this kind of goes to your thing, Kaiser. I'll look at the Discord and see what else I can answer. But in terms of like item bases, bases are very much, they've been more refined to be exactly what that item is used for in some ways. I'm assuming there's still going to be some hybridization stuff for some of the stuff. But given like a wand or something, what in PoE would be, you'd have different types of like convoking and profane wand, right? One's like a minion wand, one's like a normal wand. Those, an item like a bow or a crossbow or a javelin or a wand or whatever, it has the roles that it has within it, and it's specifically tailored to be a certain playstyle. So bases are very focused on what it is you're using them for, versus right now where you could be you could be like a spellcaster or a mines player or a totem player or whatever and be using like, you know, a dagger, a wand, a scepter, and they all have different, like, you know, all the same roles but on different bases, versus this one's a bit more concise, more consolidated. So if there is a playstyle, it'll probably have a base type of weapon that goes with that playstyle, and then you get that thing and put it on there. I don't know how it's going to be for like, because there wasn't really any information on it about, like, you know, cast on crit bows or something like that, spellcaster bows. We don't know yet. No, we just don't know, right? It's just like there's more power in a base, because it's a focused thing, and then the interesting part was, I got through what I played, and I found, like, in the first act, I found no rings. I mean, true, Cathro, yeah, they can. You have to use, like, an essence to do it, and then you use a shaper thing to add on to it. And so I played through the first act, and I had no rings. With Balor and Kat next to me, they had, like, 2 and 4 rings each, right? Like, they had a bunch of rings. And I asked Jonathan about this, like, how's the scaling work for, like, couch co-op and co-op in general? What is it doing? Why did that happen? And what it was, is they have a very cool system for it. So, like, the mob's HP just goes to, like, if you have 2 people, it's two times as much HP, right? It's just like what you'd expect. You have 2 people, so you got to do 2 times the damage. But the way that drops work was very cool, because in party play, you have essentially, like, the basic item, like, let's say a ring. In party play, you will need more rings, because there are 2 ring slots per character, and you have, you know, you need 4 rings in total if 2 people are playing. So instead of blanketly boosting all items, it boosts specific bases. Like, you don't need that many weapons, so weapons may stay the exact same, depending on if that lever needs to be tweaked, in terms of drop rate. But rings, you need more rings while going through the campaign, because you literally have more people that need more fingers. So they boost the number of ring drops by, like, or base ring drops by, like, 60%. It doesn't affect the rarity in any way, but you'll get more base rings, because you as a combo of people need more rings, right? Yeah, so it's a more specific thing of, like, you'll need more of this item than you'll need of, like, weapon bases will drop naturally, because everyone has, you know, the weapon they're using, and chances are good that, you know, you're not playing the same 2 things, and you'll get different weapons. So it'll boost up the thing specifically where it's like, if rings are boosted by 60%, weapons aren't boosted at all, and there's, like, an overall boost percentage of, like, 13%. But it's per specific thing that's needed more of. So that's something they've done. That's something they've changed with the system to be able to have that control over exactly what's being dropped and boosted, which was very cool. I'm very much down for that as an idea. Can we take a brief break? Sure, go use the bathroom. I'm not talking that quickly. I'm going through my notes to see what I have from Jonathan's interview that I can talk about. So that was cool. What's it, Scotty? So in terms of item, this is another thing on Discord. I think this was Goops. Was this your question? In terms of, like, the idea of brands or totems or things you put down on the ground that do damage, right? Howdy doody, Scouty. Then in whatever variety those things exist within the game, they're gonna try to balance around, like, how it utilizes mana, how you get mana, what you're gonna able to do with it, so that you don't just spawn the thing, like, like a totem on the ground, and then just dodge roll around while it does damage, right? They're gonna try to make it so that some part of the mana cost or some part of the functionality of it makes you not want to, like that's not gonna be the primary playstyle, because otherwise, yeah, you would be into a weird state where you kind of would be immortal by putting something down and then dodge rolling around it. So that's kind of where the balance for those kind of things is going to come from. Is going to be this general cost of doing that, because the flask changes make it so that you are more limited on resources, at least in the beginning of the campaign, where you can't portal out of a boss. You can't just go out and try to go to town, go to the well, come back, and then have your flask up. So you end up having to have a finite amount of resources with what you take into a fight. So you may only have like 8 mana flask charges. Delete the well. So the well was really not a problem. How's Necros gonna work? I don't know. We do not know that yet. Keep trying to do, but failing. Kind of, Kethro, yeah. Honestly, in terms of like normally going through the campaign, I use the well very little. Going through and killing stuff as you normally would, like you're here, I had no problem keeping my flash charges up. I had no problem keeping my life flash charges up, anything like that. Whenever you go by a checkpoint, you get full charges. That was fine. As long as you moved through and had the kit to kill stuff, you got that little bit you get from them now is enough. Yeah, I think I went back and refilled my flask twice, I think. Overall. So I had no real issues with that. So I wouldn't be worried about it. Like if you're worried about flash charges and stuff like that, especially for just like life and mana, they in the beginning it felt weird to use life and mana flasks as kind of a way to deal with both orbs. Okay. But after I'd say 30 minutes, it felt perfectly fine. And it fit with the flow. You really weren't flasking nearly as often as you do in the current state of Path of Exile. In like Path of Exile 1, you would only place your flask every now and then. I did get some utility flasks. I did not use them. No. They were in the vendor, and I never ended up using them. What's up, Shanks? So for me, I don't know. I don't know. I do hesitate on the controller to say that they would feel like super good, because of just button restraints and needing more buttons. But I don't have any kind of knowledge about it yet, and who knows? That's down the line as to whether or not that's gonna do anything. There were situations where I probably should have used them, but I didn't end up doing any of that. Let's see, what else do I have in here? Okay, hold on. Let me look at the photos. Guard skill, kind of, yeah. It's more guard skill related. I would agree. It's something you'd pop every now and then. Let me see. Do they have anything in regard to? Is that okay? Is that all the press kit? Okay, so that's all the press kit. Got it. Let me see. When's bed already? Yeah, who knows? We gotta wait. So that's shield charge, I think. Yeah, so they're shield charge there. I did not play a warrior, so my knowledge of how that feels is limited. Have to ask someone who did. So yeah. It should be not as annoying. It should be like more doable, yeah. The combination spells, like this one here, this is solar orb or something, is very cool. So okay, this is actually the combo, so cool. I can actually talk about this because it's in here. So solar orb, and this is flame blast. Normally flame blast would be casted on you and you would stand still and the ring like radiates from you, but you can put down a solar orb, and then if you're far enough away from the solar orb, you can target your flame blast onto the solar orb and then move around while casting the channel. So you can actually walk while channeling it. So if something is, you know, if you're having to avoid stuff in a boss fight, you can channel it, which is great. Oh, do they have the skill text for it? Solar Orb cannot taunt, no. Was it once? My trip was good. My trip was very good. Is this from like the Reddit, I think? Making sure there's nothing on this photo that I'm not allowed to talk about. But yeah, so Solar Orb is was this thing? Creates a stationary fire orb that periodically releases an exploding, dealing fire damage, so it like pulses. It was a pulsing orb, and then if you have it near something, then you can cast Flame Blast on this and still keep moving while you channel Flame Blast, which was very nice. It was weird because I figured out that interaction very late into what I was doing, and I was like, I don't know how the hell you use Flame Blast in this state of the game, but then I figured out that combo. I was like, oh, okay, this is how you use it. So yeah, moving while channeling was a thing you could do. I don't know if it works for everybody, but it was you can't move if you're self-casting it onto yourself, but you can move if you are channeling it onto Solar Storm, which was really cool. Stationary firm ice stove of heat. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, similar style. Like really chunky, but really slow. So in terms of speed, I guess I can talk a little bit about this. The game does not feel slow. The game looks slow when watching it. Which is a weird way to say that, but like when you're playing and going through like the stuff, the combat feels very fluid and it feels very like you are yeah, it feels fluid when you're playing it, but it does not I think translate very well to video, which will make it look slower. I also talked about the being a goal. Right, yeah. Lots of Dark Souls stuff is like that. Yeah, I will say on that point, the Dark Souls idea. I don't think the current version of the game feels very Dark Soulsy. It is not that punishing or that like no, I know. Catherine, I'm just saying in general. Is that slow? It's not slow, no. It feels like the game that I compared it to was like, it felt kind of like playing like old school Dungeon Siege 2. Like there is if an attack is going to hit you and do a fuck ton of damage, you know it is coming from like a mile the fuck out, right? Like, I'll show it in the footage when I can start putting footage up, and I'm gonna make a whole video on bossing and how it's not Dark Souls, but, yeah, yeah, basically, like, it's not that punishing, right? It still wants to be fast, and it wants to give moments where the player feels like it's you're stepping out, or like you're dodging something, or trying to like not get hit by something big. But at least in like the first 2 acts, and even into or at least in the first act and then into the second act as well, where the difficulty was ramping up a little bit more, I would not say it's like you're not fucking fighting millennia, right? Like you're not getting spammed with like 6,000 slashes where you're spamming dodge roll to dodge all of them. The game is giving you windows and opportunities to do damage in. No, I know it's on the extreme end, but like it's the game is, you know, you want water flow VOD2. The game gave you plenty of like choreographed, well done actions that you can work around, you can dodge around. I would say there was very little. Well, like I said, I didn't die on any of the bosses. So if you have any kind of like knowledge from playing these types of games, like any kind of action RPG that has a dodge function on it, or Souls game that has a dodge function or whatever, you'll know when you want to press it. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's Souls-like at all. It feels just more like any kind of, it almost feels more like a spectacle fighter in that sense. It feels more like your, I'm trying to think of like a game that I would compare it to. It's hard to think of one. Because like here, actually on this fight, right? Like, if you look at how long it takes for that blood explosion to happen, right? Like, you see this coming off the boss. You see it landing here. You know this is dangerous, and you know you should step away from it, right? And it still gives you like another wind up when it lands until it blows up, right? Like there's a lot of time. And I touched this. There's a lot of time, and even the attack animation there, you know, that pirouette upwards that he does. Oops. Yeah, Katava attacks as well are somewhere like because like that's a slow attack, and then that even his wind up there, right? It gives it a full like double pirouette, and then he attacks. So you know the attacks that are gonna be dangerous are coming, and after a couple rotations, you'll just kind of learn, you know, what they are, and it'll be fine. It's way closer to Dark Souls 1. Yeah, I would say so. Like if it's gonna make a Dark Souls comparison, then yeah, this is very telegraphed, and I think it eases the player into understanding what is gonna do those big damage hits. Like you'll still take damage from like ground degen and things of that nature, but in terms of being as punishing as a Souls-like game, at least within what I've played so far, no. That's not the case. It feels there is a part of me that still has hesitations about how much you can abuse the dodge roll. To your point, Kaiser, like is it a what I think a modern action RPG should feel like? I think it's the closest we've gotten. I'm still wondering how it's gonna pan out in the long term as to if dodge rolling is gonna feel too powerful, but we'll see. That'll be just something that gets tweaked over time. Hard mode is hardcore mode. Yeah, I mean, Noogie was talking about this with crap, I forgot his name. He's streamed in another language, and I don't. Fuck my memory. They were both talking about the hardcore perspective. And yeah, hardcore is gonna be weird with this game. Where like there will be people that play hardcore, right? But it's probably not unless you really love hardcore, it's not the way you want to start because of the design system of the thing. But once the bosses are learned and people figure it out, hardcore is going to be fun as fuck for the people that like hardcore, because you do have so much control over like moving away from bosses and the fights that are going to be hitting you and stuff like that. So yeah, so I didn't I didn't ask what like endgame mapping and bossing is going to look like, because we're so far out from it that I'm gonna go under the assumption that bossing is gonna be a bigger part of it, but I didn't ask about it just because it's too far out. You know, we don't know. Yeah, exactly. It's not nothing is set in stone for what it is. So no point in really going into it. So that was one of the things I ended up leaving off the table for now, because of just what I've seen from the gameplay itself. Let's see what else when I talk about. Right, yeah, it's just the axe. We don't know what it is in terms of yet. There's some really good synergy stuff. Mapping to be a third map, 1/3 to clear con with their boss. Great implication. Yeah, okay, cool. So some answer has been gotten then. Awesome. Yeah, I figured some of the questions would be repeated if I asked them all, because yeah, a lot of people are talking about that kind of stuff. I mean, maybe DPL, yeah. We really don't know what it's gonna be. Let's see what else can I answer here. Did the drop? Right. Okay. Can't talk about that. Oh, I guess I can talk about this. It's not, because this was something that like even we didn't realize was there, but I don't know if anybody realizes this actually. So there was a very weird option that Jonathan told me about, when, not a weird option, but like an option that I didn't realize was in the game, is when you go and select skill gems, like the uncut skill gems like we've seen, right? It gives you like a recommendation for like, this would be cool with where you are on like what you want to socket in at the time, and that's to help new players get into the game and give like a little bit more of that directional feeling to stuff. But apparently there was an option somewhere on the UI for show me all of them, and me, Ballard, and Kat we never even noticed that option. I want to go back into my footage and be like, where is this option? Because we didn't see them. That button just completely went over our heads. So we just chose the ones that were being recommended. And I was, Jonathan said that to me. He's like, yeah, there's a button that's, like, show me everything. I'm like, there is? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, none of us knew that button. I don't know if, like, I need to ask, like, the other content creators, but, like, did someone find this button? Button's too hidden? I think so, yeah. Still broke the alpha? I fucking, yep, yeah. I'll break anything with a fucking rubber band. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Okay, so basically everything under my interview document is out. I can't talk about anything more there. It's pre-alpha, yeah. Miss half the skills. No, like I had plenty of like everything I needed. And I'll talk more about that on when the embargo lifts, but like because I can't go into specifics of some of that stuff. Let me see. League interaction and stuff like that, they don't know yet in terms of like what it's going to be on the console and things. Gold drop. Okay, gold drop was in co-op. Gold drop was synchronized. So if you like let's say 50 gold drops, you both just get 50 gold. I don't know how the scaling for it worked, but you just get, both of you have 50 gold. It says, you know, on the side of your screen. So there's no worry about like having to move gold around between your characters or like between the players and stuff like that. There wasn't an issue with that. Greener pastures. Got that secret info. Yeah, gold's not tradable. Yeah. So you just get the same thing. I used the vendors as much as I could. Gold prices for like getting items were pretty high in terms of what the cost of them was. And that will be probably, I would assume, tweaked over time. I didn't ask about it, didn't get a confirmation about it, but I used the vendors for some things. Got like a weapon and I think a belt from the vendors, and I couldn't afford like rings. Rings were very expensive. It wasn't. It was more so like, yeah, like what piece of gear was I missing at the time? Like, when I didn't have a belt, I saved up to buy a belt from the vendor. And then, like, a ring was 6 times the cost of a weapon, so it was better for me to buy 6 weapons and see if I could get a better weapon than it was to buy a ring. Just blast more dudes? I mean, honestly, yeah, you just blast more dudes. Fix missing stats. Not bench. Right, Catherine, can't talk about that. Okay, I had to pause. Why rings expensive? Just early on. Rings were just expensive. Let's see what else do I have in this notepad of ours. Welcome back. Thank you. Happy to be back. Looting on the controller, in terms of a question for that, was fine this time. You can bind something to your loot button, and it works fine, because when you are in combat, you cannot loot. If you're on the controller, the pick up a button is disabled and becomes that specifically just that combat action. And then when you're out of combat, the radius for picking up loot is pretty large in terms of like, you'll know you're gonna pick it up. So you don't have like any issue with trying to do stuff. So that made it a lot easier. Like, I never accidentally looted or attacked when I didn't want to, the whole time I was playing, and I had my, you know, one of my main skills like bound to the pickup key, so not a problem at all for me on that front. No, Shanks, they didn't. Would you never get out of combat? I don't know how that will work, true. No, in that case, maybe you do just bind nothing to your loot pickup key. I don't know. It depends on how the density works, how juiced everything is. We don't know that yet, so. But yeah, I had no problem with picking up loot, or attacking, even though I bound the same thing to the same option, so that was pretty good. You can res in the middle of a fight in couch co-op. It's difficult. It's long. It takes a while, but Balor and Cat were able to res each other while they were fighting stuff, and sometimes they clutched it off and got a res off, and it was a cool feeling. And sometimes they didn't. Sometimes they, got smashed up because they went for the res. So that was not bad. You can do that, or just don't die. Be God gamer, don't die. That also works. Can you stop? I actually don't know if you can stop. No, I didn't test, and because I wasn't playing couch co-op, so I actually don't know if you can stop the res. You might be able to. I would assume you can, all things considered. Let me see what else it does. It does not reset the boss's HP if one of you dies. The bars for... No, you're not limited in number of reses. Stop or at least get interrupted by a hit. Yes, if you get tickled in any way when you are trying to res someone, it interrupts it, yes. But I don't know if you yourself can interrupt it. But I would assume you can. I'd have to ask Balor about that. So that was fine. It was a cool feeling. It definitely felt a lot better. Because if one of you is like, teaching another person how to play the game, you could always just pick them back up. Given you're gonna have more knowledge and like understanding of when that's possible and get them back in the fight. So that feels cool. Let's see. I didn't ask about any one-time run content, like what happens if one of you dies. I'm going to assume it's kind of similar to what is going to be with bossing, where there is the res option, just like with anything. Maybe but who knows if there's any one-time content. So I guess that goes to the original question you had about the cast speed or animation speed of things. I did not animation cancel myself out of anything, like as badly as we did at ExileCon. There were times where the animation of something is so long that it is possible that you like think you've cast it and then do something that overrides it. But it is only for certain skills, and I think that was more an issue with that specific skill. Meteor. I didn't cast Meteor, so I wouldn't know. But like you could keep holding the move skill button down and still get the cast off. Because of the more fluid casting while moving thing, like you see with a crossbow there, you could get the cast off rather than like accidentally move and then stop it. If you wanted to stop it, you still can with like a dodge roll. I was able to animation cancel out of some things, but it was not nearly as annoying as it was at ExileCon. No, so that part's been also fixed. Right, Shanks. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be cheese that much. No, I think it's long enough and punishing enough that yeah. At ExileCon, it was really really easy to animation cancel yourself out of anything. That was very annoying. So that part has definitely been patched up a lot more, which felt good. So. No fears there. Let me see what else we can talk about. In terms of the idea of binding different skills in different ways to like the left or right stick or whatever it was. They're aware of the fact that there is a lot of ways to use skills. It just comes down to, is it possible to support every use case of every skill in every different way with the controller? On mouse and keyboard, of course, it's going to be a lot easier because you have a lot more finite control. As Greg, welcome. Glad to be back. But on controller, you know, it's possible that either the UI gets extremely cluttered with a bunch of random stuff that is for very specific skill purposes, or you just don't support, you know, 100% of all use cases of all skills in the controller playstyle. For everything, like we were talking about with like Frostblink Ignite, being able to choose whether you're going backwards or forwards with it, stuff like that. At this point in time, that's still being looked at in terms of what it does. So that wasn't too bad. I actually never used the L3, the bumper toggle for the other set of skills. So I actually have no answer to that is a talking point. I just didn't have enough stuff to put on the back bumper. I looked, it was hold only, I think. I don't think you could toggle it to be like one or the other, but you know, it might be something that they end up. All things in terms of control can be tweaked if they see it's necessary. Is basically what I got as an answer to that. Let's see, what else do we have here. The auto targeting was very good in terms of like how it worked on attacks and casting. So the auto targeting, auto tracking felt very, very good. It felt a lot better than it does in PoE1 because of that like semi tracking. Yeah, everything's being like actually worked on, which is nice. There is a portal to town button. Yep, you can bind that to a key and you just wave your hands and it fucking slaps a portal down, which was sick. I could not figure out if there was a way to do like debuff hovering on controller. Even when you pause the game, you couldn't like mouse over to what your things were. So that might be still something to get worked on. In terms of UI, I didn't really get any answer for static versus customizable UI, so I don't have anything to say about that. You can ID without having to pick up an ID scroll from the inventory. There's even, you know, a Deckard Cain style dude who IDs your entire inventory, which was kind of cool. They did fix the weird overlap of boss and HP bars and stuff like that. That was a lot cleaner. Deckard Dane, yes. So boss, you were able to tell what you're targeting and what was on the screen pretty easily from looking at the debuff, like the buff bars and stuff like that. I would still be, you know, I did use it. Some level customization. Okay, that's great then.
Impressive,
awesome.
Challenger.
That's good shit. Value. Thank you so much for continuing the gifted sub. I appreciate you destroying your own plebituity. How's the lore? I basically skipped all the dialogue on purpose. I did not read or listen to the lore. The voice acting was pretty good, in terms of like what I did here, besides my vendor glitch. But yeah, no, I wanted to like do that when the full thing is done and we can do it like throughout the whole thing. So I didn't do it at that time. Yeah, besides my vendor glitch of going shush constantly. Yeah, that was that was great, but that was just me breaking the game. That wasn't the game's fault in that sense. It does use the PoE1 controller style of flask. So like here you can see that, you know, they have 9 flask charges and 10 mana charges. So they have on, I would assume, 3 life flasks and 2 mana flasks. So that's how you get those, and then they do stack up as they do on PoE1, but it tells you the total charge of the flasks. Why so many bugs? What happened? Resub is what happened, I think, there. Okay. But not if you already have one. Wait, what? Really? Yeah, interesting. The best and chill emoji. Appreciate that value. All ears in PoE2. Dude, I totally do it. Let's see, what else do I have? Okay, that covers pretty much all of those questions that I can answer. I think it goes up next resub cycle, yeah. Oh, are they, Kaiser? Oh shit, okay. Huh. I didn't even know that. I've been gone too long. Okay. Let's see. What was stuff on Discord that I have that I can answer questions about besides my whatever the fuck this is? There's 6 acts. Yeah, I don't even know. I actually don't know that information. Oh, maybe yeah. It was 7? Oh, I have no idea. Will it cost something? I don't have any answer on that. I didn't ask about it. I'm pretty sure this has been covered multiple times, but not by me. Will the Toucan return? I have no comment. Yeah, in-game stuff we don't really know. Different approach to bosses versus reward content. I don't know if this was specifically answered, but bossing is definitely a more focus in the things, so you're gonna be doing more of them. So we'll see. We'll see how that ends up panning out. That's true. Yeah. There's over 100 just in the axe. 150, I believe, Tedo, is the number that somebody said is how many are in the axe. It's pretty nuts. So I think bossing is going to be more of a focus in terms of what we're doing. Shield charge. Well, you'd have to ask somebody who played warrior on the shield charge front, but I mean even the thing there has shield charge, so pretty safe to say that most of that kind of stuff is sticking around. Deep third, dude, it's plane rides, man. The dry air of a plane, I just like fucking lose my voice, man. It's brutal. I fucking hate it. PoE2 was really fun, yes. It felt like the best way I can describe it is it feels like it's Path of Exile, skills, customization, and that on a different game's movement set. The way you play it, physically play it, or actively play it, feels different and feels way better. Feels more responsive and feels like you're actually like in control. But the way you make things, customize things, design your character, that still feels like Path of Exile. The movement skill stuff. Yeah, I don't know the movement skill stuff yet. We really just didn't get to any movement skills yet for where I was. So yeah. Endgame we still don't really know like they've said. Endgame is still being like fully fleshed out as to what it is. How many skills resulting bonus ability? For this one, it kind of varied for how many skills were expected to be used and stuff. Like there's definitely a focus on skills that you will use while going through like killing mobs and stuff like that, and then skills that will be more single target focused. What those combinations look like and feel like is gonna be up to what you're playing, I think, from basically what we were kind of getting the vibe of there. For me, while going through the campaign, I was using
Impressive, Challenger.
Yay, my power is back.
Nice.
Am I missing the big deets?
The big deets? You're missing some of the deets. What's up, Uncle? Thank you so much for the 4 to 5 months. Appreciate that. Hopefully the power stays back on. I used 3 skills actively and 2 skills passively. So that's what I'll say to that. And I did not feel like I was using too many things at all. And that's me. Like, you guys know how I play on typically basis. So I would say that, like, using 3 skills actively did not feel anywhere near as bad as it does in, like, PoE1. Where, like, if I said it's a 3-button build, you'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? So, the way the combat system works, it feels a lot better to use that throughout your gameplay in general. Intended role mechanic. I think I covered a lot of the role mechanic. I'll cover more of the role mechanic when I make a video on it. But yeah, it is something that I'm slightly concerned about, but I think they know what they're doing with it. So we'll see. Are we adequately rewarded for making tanky characters? I would assume yes, but I don't have an answer for that. That's a balancing thing. That's way late game. That's gonna be something that's gonna have to be tweaked over the time. So I don't think they'd have an answer to that type of question anyway. It's like what means defense. There's definitely more of a focus on what I would call defensive skills. Yeah. In the current state. To the Limp Bizkit song? Maybe? I don't know. It didn't start playing for me. Will there be big supporter packs? There probably will be. Brand totem skills. Right. So the brand totem skills, kind of like what I covered over earlier. This is a Goob's question. Yeah, they're balancing it around mana and how they use them, and how you have like a limited amount of resources within a boss fight or mechanic. But you know, if changes need to be made, they'll make changes. Right, Kaiser. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see we'll see with a lot of that stuff. There is a 100% gonna be fishing in PoE. Of course, there's fishing in PoE. Why would there not be fishing in PoE? Who would not add fishing in PoE? Definitely not a weird answer. Yeah, challenge and trophies and rewards and stuff. Don't know yet. I didn't get any kind of answer on that from anybody. Listed on the loading screen tooltips. Yeah, you gotta have it. It's like part of the goal. Isn't adding trivial systems like weapon swap mid fight to change skills going? Picked up a fishing card. It knows. In terms of like the weapon swap and stuff, and then multiple 6-link and things, I think, like, yeah, sure, I play PoE1 and I come from the background of making weird builds, but it was very intuitive, like, right away, as to what skill did what. Like I said, Balor picked up my build, like, at the end of a 5-hour session where he had not played my build at all, and had it, like, the rhythm of it down in 30 seconds, right? He was like, okay, this makes sense. He pressed the buttons and was like, okay, this build makes sense. So I think, honestly, the way that the skill gems are introduced to new players, the way that things are like auto-socketed into giving you, like, you choose this support, it puts it in there and shows you that that's how you want to make sure that you're always linked and supported and stuff like that. That kind of stuff just makes it so much easier for new players to get into it. That it's very, like, it's very good. What the fuck? What just happened to my Discord? My Discord decided to just black screen. It does that sometimes? Okay, weird. Right, Catherine. Yeah. Chicken recently? Huh, weird. Does that sometimes? Huh. Cray for all me all the time. Weird. I've never seen that happen. Okay. Yeah, no, I just, like, minimized it because I knew where the minimize button was. That was weird. What was I saying? Yeah, no, I think, honestly, the way that the skills interact with each other, like, if you have a general like, idea of how video games work, it's... you can press a button and instantly know what you're supposed to use it on, and so it became very, like, easy to pick up, but also easy to customize, which I did a lot of. Basically, Kaiser, yes. Push button, kill mob, get loot. It's an action RPG. Yeah, there was a lot of tangents between me and Jonathan. I had 20 minutes and I went through that 20 minutes so quick. I was like, all right, cool. Thanks for shooting the shit. I'm gonna get out of here now. You have yourself a nice day. Cause yeah, it was fun to talk to him. No shit, you did. Yeah. Let me see what else we got here. Oh, the speed thing. So this was something that was being kind of discussed even among us as content creators and stuff. I wouldn't be worried about the speed from what we've seen so far. I know a lot of people gave them the feedback of, like, show us what an endgame setup looks like. To, like, quell the worries of the audience, but judging from the fact that, like, some people were absolutely blitzing through, I would not be worried about the speed of Path of Exile. Like, you will be able to make fast characters that go through the content fast that are focused on that, or you can play at, like, my C- clear speed and be just fine. I wouldn't be worried about the speed. Yeah, exactly, Kaiser. Because, like, for me, there's some criticisms I'll talk about after the embargo lifts, but for me, the reality was, like, I was always in some kind of combat that felt like I was engaged, versus things were, like, there was definitely parts of the game where I was just strolling through and killing stuff and having a good time, and my brain wasn't, like, locked in focused. So I'm not saying that the game has to be locked in focused the entire time, but there was definitely more of a thing of like, you're always kind of like looking around, making sure you're doing something, looking out for stuff, and you have the ability to react to them, which felt better than just fucking zooming through and ignoring everything. So yeah, I wouldn't be worried about the speed. Even as someone as slow as me, I wouldn't worry about the speed at all. Any alternative levelings? I don't think so. I think it's gonna still stay what it is. Give me a showcase button. Single button with armor. Seeing how fast we can get from the start of an area to the end of the zone. Nice. Yeah, the end game power level. This was said a lot to them by a lot of people. Like, show us what like an end game speed look like. Thing is, most efficiently is play 2-button builds to pick back monsters. I will say I played mostly a 1-button build. Well, damn it. I wouldn't be worried about that. If you want to play a 1-button build, you can play a 1-button build. I had the option to use multiple buttons, and there was definitely packs I used multiple buttons on. But for the most part, I played with 1 button. So I think that's going to be there as well. Right, Kaiser, yeah. It's slower if I don't mind. Right, Shanks, yeah. I had one close encounter for... I'm in streamer mode, so anyone that... some things are hidden and some things aren't. I had one close encounter in one hallway with one specific mob that almost one-shot me, but it was a pack of those mobs, and I still didn't get one shot. Stream lagging? It shouldn't be lagging. Yeah, I don't know why only some are short and some are not. I have no idea. Yeah, DPL, for anyone who likes multi-buttons, especially if you want to play like co-op, I would say that if you like co-op, the idea of co-op in Path of Exile 2 is going to be amazing for it. That makes sense, Cathro, yeah. There was at the meet, there was some really cool co-op combos that came about. You can go check out Subtractum's setup for that, and once he gets his stuff, you can see some really cool co-op functionality. They had some really sick combos. That was very, very cool. I won't spoil that, but yeah, their co-op is fucking fun, which is great. I like 100%. You will like co-op things. If you're a co-op enjoyer. If it was standard for everybody, and I mean, I probably would break the game. Yes. No, I didn't ask any. I didn't PoE1 things. PoE1 league mechanic. I didn't get to this one, the league mechanic one yet. I ran out of time to ask that, but I'm sure we'll get more details of that as things are to come and they figure out what it is they're actually porting over. For stuff like that. We want to expand on them in PoE2? Right. No, so Shanks, that I don't think will be happening. From what I played, You won't do that. You won't need the level of power that comes from pressing multiple buttons enough times that it will get annoying, and when you do need it, you'll feel good doing it. I'll put it that way. Right, cause yeah. I'm gonna help extend break PoE2. Okay. The time to death in PoE2 is very long. Like straight up, it's long. Like I said, I didn't die to any bosses doing what I was doing. So the time to death is like stupidly long. 1.5 seconds. Right. Let's see. Right, for the unarmed thing, Kaiser, I would assume anything that has a playstyle will have a base type associated with it. I don't have a direct answer to it. Fuck off, Discord. 'Cause like I think this is something I can't talk about yet either. Hold on. Yes. All right. I'm gonna have to hold off on that. Has anyone talked about focuses? Like offhand focuses in Path of Exile 2 yet? No. I don't know. No clue. But not any specifics. Okay. I'll wait. And I've been any talk about. Okay. I'll wait till the embargo then. That's not technically part of the thing that's embargoed, but I'll hold off. I'll talk about that more then on Tuesday. Yeah, I don't want to go over anything that's like not been talked about, right? Was boss here? LA was sick, man. I loved LA. I hate how dry my throat is from the air in my airplane, but like I absolutely loved going and playing and when does it lift? It lifts on the 11th, 12th, 11th? Yeah, 11th, right? Yeah, 11th at sometime. June 11th at 2 p.m. is when. Let's pre-schedule my videos. Nah. Not the first time anyone said the day the embargo lifts? No, it's not. The embargo lift date's been known. I'm pretty sure. Right. I need to go to the store. Let me see what else I have. I don't know if there's Death's Oath in PoE2. I'm gonna skip this question. We don't know item balance yet. That lever is still being pulled around. Channeling skills are more viable, yes. Like I said, or was talking about with this combo here. Being able to move while channeling makes them so much more viable. This was really, really good. Being able to put the solar flare down and then walk around while channeling a flame blast onto it made it so much better. So if you self-cast flame blast, you're locked in place. If you put down solar flare and you're like this distance away from it, you can then channel on the solar flare and walk around while channeling it. They'll be there, Hunts, yes. To in some way, some degree, things like that will exist. There's some even cool ones that, once again, embargo. Since crossbows shoot from you to target, how do bows shoot? Same way. They both shoot the same way. Just shoot from you to the target. What the, dude, fuck off, Discord. Stop it. Why's my Discord theme like that? Like what? Oh, this? The way the names are? It's just streamer mode, so some things don't get revealed. The gradient. What? The color theme? Oh, I don't know. This is just the color theme I use? Fuck if I know. I think it was just an option when I installed Discord. Use color themes in Discord? I have no idea. Mine's like that. Oh. Fuck if I know, man. I don't know. It's a nitro thing? Oh, is it? Okay. I don't know. This is just what I have. In terms of the new player experience, I would say it's a lot smoother for the beginning of the new player experience. Respecing with gold isn't too bad. You can move stuff around, but you can't be like extremely fluid with it. Like you can't spec one way on the tree and then completely unspec it and spike another way, like all at the same time. No regrets. At least at the beginning was all done by gold. I don't know what it's going to be in the long game, late game, end game, after X level, Y level, but in the beginning, yeah. So basically, you just respec with gold, and just scales over time, right? What's up, Nugget? Klepto? Hope you guys are doing well. And then like I talked about earlier with the skill gems, how they gave you what they gave you in terms of like you might be interested in this support gem, then that was really, really good for new players as well. So I think the new player experience is a lot more streamlined. I would say they could give us more uncut skill gems, but that might have been me getting unlucky because some people I talked to had a lot more uncut skill gems than I did. So it's kind of hard to tell like what which way that works. Crafting level for it, uncut. What's uncut? Basically skill gems drop as like a T1 to T7 uncut skill gem, and you right click on it and you can choose the gem you want from it. So like I wanted to mess with as many of the skills as I could, but I didn't get enough uncut skill gems to get all of them, so I couldn't mess with all the combinations of things. And so that kind of gave me a bit of a thing. But I got to mess with a lot of it, so that felt fine. Cast on crit's still a thing. Nearby is a numerical wording that I don't know. They'll still be brain dead and non-brain dead combat stuff. Both are there. Both styles, both build types are definitely still there. So that's not a problem. But yeah, I think that covers all of that. And then whatever the fuck this is. Okay. What else can I talk about? What else can I talk about? When beta? I don't know. We weren't giving a specific date. Hopefully by the end of the year is what I was said. But apparently on some other thing a second ago it was said. I played for, let me see. I played for, let me see. Why is my hard drive not booting? The fuck? What the hell? Okay. Okay, there we go, yeah. 9-5 is because he has 3 life flask and 2 mana flask equipped, and when you bind a flask on at least the console, we don't know if it works on PC, to a button, that button will use all of your flask. If one of them goes empty, it will use another one that is the same one. PoE1 does it currently as well, but this one consolidates it and gives you a number of, this is how many charges in total you have. Let me see. In the hard maths, you know it. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I played for, did I play for exactly 5 hours? I'm gonna play exactly 5 hours. Let me look. Make sure I'm correct on that. Yes, I'm gonna say I played for pretty much exactly 5 hours, and I got to the midway point of Act 2. Noogie and his co-op partner got to the end of Act 2 in that time. So, to give you a general idea of what it was. But I was also messing around with like a bunch of random stuff the whole time, so I was definitely slower than I could have been. I was level 22 at the end of it. Let's see, what else can I talk about? Is there anything in these that's gonna give me something I can talk about at the moment. I don't think so. I think I've hit the point where I would need to have my footage to talk about the rest. We don't value, I don't know. I'm assuming it's 100 again. Yeah, okay. I think I've pretty much hit the point where I'm out of things. We can, yeah, that's something I'm pretty sure I've hit the point where I'm actually out of things I can talk about without having the ability to show my footage. Any hot 4 Bubble Womans? I don't think so, no. I did not run into any of those. Sadly. Sadly for all involved. No, the 11's not that far away now. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's, I'll talk about it more on the 11th. In terms of that question, guys. Some bosses definitely do have distancing patterns. Because the boss that was demoed has certain attacks he uses depending on the distance you are from him. And he's much less likely to use a certain ground pound he has if you're close to him versus far away from him. Because it's a very damaging ground pound. And so you have less of a window to get out of it if he were to spam it on you while you're next to him. I could say that. So yeah, I think that's, that pretty much covers everything I can talk about. As far as I am aware. Yeah. Down Shaper. Yeah, Shaper pops up in the middle of Act 2. And, just kind of slaps you with his cosmic stick. Spoilers, by the way. Right, Kaiser. Yeah. I'll talk about it more when I can, but yeah, like overall, like I said on Discord, pretty much my hype for my hype for the game is like, sans the fact that I'm yawning because I'm just like super tired from the travel and flights and stuff. My hype for the game is like way higher, right? Like when I played it at ExileCon, I was excited for the game and was wanting to get to play it and play more of it and all that stuff. Now that I've played this variant of the game and was able to like really dig my teeth into it and play a specific setup and get more into it, like I just want to play the game, like just straight up. Like it's so fun. To just the combat feel alone is so much better, which is pretty surprising. Like how much it evolved and improved from ExileCon until now. I would almost say that if you played it at ExileCon, you might have like a very different perspective of the game that is not nearly as good feeling as what we got to play at ExileCon, or as what it is now. Yeah, it's way better than ExileCon. Yes, like just straight up. Like if this was the demo, if this was the demo at ExileCon, I could 100% say that there would be nobody worried about the future of Path of Exile 2. Like that went to like that if that went to ExileCon. Like if this was the demo we could have played at ExileCon, then yeah, everyone would have been like, this shit's amazing. But yeah, it's so good in terms of just the overall feel of how the gameplay feels. Because yeah, it definitely, talking to Jonathan, it definitely felt like he's kind of, he's kind of like me in that sense that like the feel of something is very important. Like when he said putting a cooldown or a stamina cost or something on the roll just doesn't feel good. I'm like, I get this guy. Me and this guy, we get along. Because yeah, the game feels good to play. It feels good to do the action stuff, which is important. So I have no hesitations about the game anymore. And when I can talk about, more things, I'll explain why. We have a diary. Yeah, basically. They have me. Yeah, I don't know. The Heath death, they might solve the problem with the Heath death of the universe before that happens, We'll get a couple more years. But yeah, it was sick. Are we? I did not ask who put my name in the hat. I did talk to Octavian though. He was very chill. Busy guy, very busy guy. He was running around just doing all sorts of different things all at once. So I'm sure he yeah, I didn't take a I did not like record the interview specifically. I I just kind of shot the shit with him and then took notes. So I'll talk more about the things I talked about when I get there. I had faith in you. Yeah, we talked about. I mean, basically, he walked in. I walked in. He asked me what my opinion of the alpha was, and then I went into I love bossing, and here's the things that I did, and is this supposed to be the normal? He's like, no. What did you do? And then we just kind of broke down what I did, and then the how it worked, and yeah. Oh, that was pretty much what happened. I was like, well, this worked out well. Hey, look, it's me in all my playtest happiness. Let me see. Has anyone has anyone shown these on there was 2 uniques I believe found on the alpha testing day. Oh shit. Look at me. I'm like, yeah, I see you, cameraman. I see you, cameraman. Is counter dot body armor by someone else. And there was also a pair of boots as well, Kaiser, so that's at least 3. Is the new face of the Epic Beard Club. They paid for dinner for 2 nights, lunch for 2 nights, the hotel, and the flight over. So just like full disclosure, that's what they paid for. So yeah, it's basically a business trip. All the way. I look so intense in all these photos. I just look so fucking, I'm like, dude, I see. I'm just like all over the photos looking extremely intense. I even played Nikkei instead. It's kind of a resting face, it is, yeah. Room filled with couches. Yeah, so yeah, I guess if you guys haven't seen the venue we were in, hold on. There's a photo here somewhere of it, right? Where's a photo of the venue? I have one on my phone, but that one has stuff I can't show. This one, here we go. So this was the venue, right? We were in like this conference room area set up with a fuck ton of TVs and couches. So we just like kicked back on couches. No, Chris wasn't there. And played some PoE. It was sick. No, this was in Los Angeles. Casting when? No casting required. But I played solo. I played solo the whole time. And then next to me was Balor and Cat playing duo. Let's go 1 to 10. How up are you? Before I played it, I was at like an 8. After playing it, I'm at like a solid 10.3. Nice, dude. Yeah. Look at how tense I am. I've seen the sun. Unsubbed you? No, you're still subbed. Just gotta refresh. Nice dome, thank you. I'm trying to see what else. Trying to see if there's any more photos of me playing. Yeah. New Zealand would be like way more expensive. Ooh, There's a crew walking in. Me, Noogie, Gazzy, Arrow, and then we had like a bunch of other people in. I cannot say noobs. All the stuff that I did is something I can't talk about. Um, the skill tree, it was there, but it was very bare bones. What else do we have here? I'm just scrolling through the photos. Got a bed soon with a nice storm outside? Fuck yeah. Maybe value. There's a photo of Balor and my dick. That's an interesting camera angle to take. Righto. Good shit, good shit. Alright, cool. That is all the photos. Ruin other people's. I didn't know he was gonna take a photo. How did they rework the flash system? It's really not, I would say, in any way different from the current state of Flask in PoE1 as to what they do, but it is different in how often you use them, right? So, in most of the situations, the way I recovered mana was to use a mana flask, but I didn't use that but like maybe every 30 seconds or so. Not even that. Because my primary skills were not that mana intensive. And then when I was in single target or a bigger combat situation, that's when I needed like a mana flask to use every now and then. But like I said, it was like 30 seconds. And then Life Flask was there to kind of work as a, I got hit by something I shouldn't have been hit by. Let me get my life back as a result of that. Otherwise, I had a bit of regen. And like, I think it was, I forgot who it was. I think it was, I forgot who said it, but someone made a good point where like, I got an item with like 3.5 life regen. Well, when you only have a base life of 100, that's a really powerful item at that stage in time. So I had plenty of time in most fights to regenerate my damage back without using a life flask. Because the window that you get hit by those big attacks in is pretty big. And if you dodge one, get hit by the next one, and then dodge the next one, you have enough recovery, unless it's a massive attack, to kind of bounce back from it without worrying about it too much. So you really don't use Flask the way you use them in PoE1, which is like you're saying, spamming it every 5 seconds. You use them very situationally, and you don't really notice it being a bad thing as a result. Ugh. Fuck, I'm tired. Travel burned the hell out of you. Trying to think of, is there anything else I can talk about until I make my videos? Probably not. I think I've covered everything that is allowed to be talked about. See naked people in LA? I didn't see any naked people, no. Pascal felt better overall. It did, guys. Yeah, the playstyle, like the playstyle felt like the best way I could describe it is like it felt like I was using fairy jars in Legend of Zelda for when I got hit by a like dumb thing and I needed to recover and heal. I would, pop a fairy bottle and heal. It felt very similar to that rather than me going, I need to use a flask, I need to use a flask, I need to use a flask. It was more so, it was, you got into a rhythm of knowing when you needed to use what and how long you could kind of buffer out damage. To show the controller? Yeah. There's the custom Path of Exile 2 Xbox Series S, Series 2 Elite controller we got, which is nice. We got all the goodies with it, all the things you can modify it with and everything. So it's pretty sick. It's a sick color and fancy controller with all the little back buttons and all that stuff that come with this one. So it's cool. Use cryogenic sleep. I know, right? I wish I had cryogenic sleep access. It'd be great. Remember probably the issue. Right, Cathro. Yeah. Yeah, I would say the flask felt. Yeah, they felt intensely better in terms of just the flow of combat. They did not feel like something you spammed. Yes, Boxer. Enemy attacks. I said this at the beginning. Like, in terms of, I would not compare Path of Exile 2 to a Souls-like. It's more akin to, like a spectacle fighter, where you really know the attack you're not supposed to get hit by, and it gives you plenty of time to like react to that. And then the dodge is not on cooldown and doesn't have a stamina cost, so you can just press the dodge button. And Jonathan told, in talking to him, he told me that he's expecting people to die 1 to 3 times the first time they fight a boss. Because he wants to make people comfortable with dying early, so that dying when things ramp up in difficulty doesn't feel such a bad thing, because the checkpoint system means that if you die, you literally are a 2-second walk away from taking the boss on again, fully reset, and you get to learn it, kind of like you would in any normal setup game. And using the mechanics of the game, I was able to not die at all on any boss fights going through the game, which was concerning to him. It's like, you did what now? How'd you do that? I'm like, here's what I did. He's like, aha. There's a checkpoint before every boss, yes. All the bosses that have a pillar outside of them that lights up blue gives you your full flash charges and saves you right before the boss. So you walk in, fight the boss, die. You're gonna spawn right outside the door with full flask, and you can go again. It is very like, yeah, it's very easy to get repetitions and like learn the mechanics. And it's very easy, like if you do die 1 time, 2 times, you'll learn very quickly what it is, the big moves that are hitting you and how to dodge them. So it's yeah. No, so waypoints and checkpoints are 2 separate things. Waypoints are still, somewhere on the map is a specific waypoint. And then checkpoints are things that are outside of of certain sections. It's like a respawn beacon, yeah, basically. Campaigns like that. Right, yeah, true. But it also is like that for mini bosses and stuff as well, Cutthroat. Not just the campaign boss. Like if there is a mini boss in the world, there's a checkpoint outside of it. So it's like it's pretty much everything that is an encounter that can kill you in that specific way. Mini god bosses, yeah. So there's checkpoints everywhere, but it does reset. I think the most I had in one area was like 3, and it was like a massive area. Yeah. Yeah, endgame's a different thing. We don't know that yet. But yeah, this was the console playtest, so don't know WASD. But I mean, realistically, the WASD controls are going to pretty much amount to the same as the controller controls, so I have a pretty good feeling it's going to feel damn good on WASD as it does on controller. Yeah. But I'm also a very big fan of how controller play worked. It felt very good to do. So that was good. They're hoping to get it, Noobwater. But we don't know if it's going to be a thing yet. Definitely a lot of people gave that feedback. Steam Deck compatibility? No, I don't think they talked about it. I'm not sure. I don't think they talked about it though. Maybe somebody interviewed and asked about it though. Yeah, I would assume so. If it's playable on console and PC, I would assume you can Steam Deck it. Poor performance. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. It's it's still an alpha product, so. Yeah. I think that covers like most shit that I want to talk about. I don't think there's anything more. Unless you guys have specific questions that I still can answer, or something that you think I might know. Yeah, can talk, right? That's the thing here. A whole lot of can talk about. Voice line frequency for like your character or bosses or like queuing shit up, the player character. It was there, but it wasn't super frequent. You'd notice when it happened, I would say. Like the first time I heard the "I'm out of mana" thing, I was like, "Oh, shit!" There's a line for that. It just didn't happen enough to really warrant being played that many times. There's the one for like you can't cast in town. I remember that one. Yeah, overall, there was some. What else? What else? Spam a skill when it's cool. Is it like every 8-10 seconds? Oh yeah, probably, yeah. Somewhere around that time. But I didn't really do much of it. Was the places you got food at any good? I went to get tacos with Arcane. They were good tacos, but they didn't blow my socks off. No COVID? I hope not. And then what else do we eat? We ate at the place by the hotel. That was alright. That was alright. Or the place in the hotel. That was alright. Then we had. We went to the actual restaurant. So yeah. What else did I eat? We had noodles yesterday. Me and Arcane. That was good. I liked those. I was like super tired at that point though, so I was like not that hungry. Had a poke bowl at one point. Pretty damn good fish, I'd say. Better food than New Zealand? No. Yes, Arcane of 21. That one. Yeah, what else did I eat? Me and Balor went to go get fish and chips. He had fish and chips, which was alright, according to him. Ketchup was shit though. He's used to tomato sauce. Yeah, I would say New Zealand's food was better, but LA's beer and drink selection was beer selection was better. I was actually surprised at the prices of LA, because I always hear about LA having like insanely high prices of food for food in LA, but it wasn't that unreasonable. Beer prices were a lot higher than around me, but food prices seem normal. Does it smell like? No, the city doesn't smell like anything, honestly. Just dry and smelled like a city. It was weird. They don't have an ocean smell, even though they're on the ocean. But I think, like Arcane said, that's probably because they don't have the seaweed and the dampness there. Ketchup for fish and chips? Yeah, like chips. Fries. Need ketchup. Yeah, most of the New Zealand beers were citrus water, is basically what they were. Yeah, that's what he did as well. He used tartar sauce for both. Oh, Paris? Yeah, Paris smelled like way worse than LA did. Yeah, true, Kaiser. Yeah, I mean, realistically, I mean, LA 100% had like a massive homeless problem. They have so many homeless people. Like it's definitely noticeable that there are a lot. Way lighter in general. Yeah, yeah. What else am I? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Which is more hops heavy beers. Well, that's the thing I liked about LA. I could get non-hoppy beers. Yeah, that's the thing. Like New Zealand, most of New Zealand's beers were like light citrusy and very hoppy. I don't like hoppy beers. I just don't like hops in general. I like beer. I just don't like hops. On the plane ride home, we had the cider we found was good. Yeah, the cider was good. That was one thing you guys did. New Zealand did very well, was the cider. My plane ride home, there I flew in with no problem at all. I was the only one on my row. I slept all the way to there. The ride back, I was between two people that both slept on my shoulders. The entire flight home was nothing but turbulence. And then we had a crying baby the row over from us. I was so out of it. I landed and like my eyes were like, where the fuck am I? And I woke up. I had to change my flight out because I had an 8 a.m. flight out, but then they asked about Jonathan's interview, and I said, sure, I'll take it. I had to change my flight out. The only flight out that day through Spirit that didn't have like a layover was at 11:30 p.m. So I went from an 8 a.m. flight to an 11:30 flight. And by the time I was like on the plane, I was so out of it that I was just like, yep, I'm living. So that sucked. Got home and just went straight to bed. That's why I'm like still super fucking tired. So I don't know how long I'm gonna go today. Because yeah, I might just fucking fall asleep, and my voice is really not liking it. On the plane, I coughed, and like my throat hurts so much because it was so dry, which was not great. German or Belgium, rather do when I do local bars. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I just don't like hoppy beers at all. So yeah, usually I go for like a Kolsch or a Pilsner or a lager that has like less hop in it. If I'm going like when those are available. Word from our sponsor, Trojan Condoms. Man, I need a fucking Ridge Wallet sponsor. I sold 2 Ridge Wallets while I was there, and I'm not even fucking sponsored by Ridge Wallet. Le fuck. Yeah, Asheville's got good beers. Agreed. What else? Trying to think of like what else. How's the taco? The taco was good. It wasn't blow my socks off good, but it was good. I know Arcane was disappointed. He was like, "What? It's not the best ever." I'm like, "Nah." I've had better tacos, but it was a damn good taco. I got one that was pork, one that was tofu, and then one that was, I don't remember what the last one was. I got one of each to try them. And the pork one was the best by far. Tofu taco. Yep. Tofu taco. Trying to like see what all I have in here. You want good food? I know, right? Among Us, anyone who has titles he would like to collaborate with. He also don't let the course and giving some rewards for Fall Guys. Who wants to do an Among Us 14? Steal any prop? I did not steal any props, no. I was happy with what I got. Okay, I don't need that. Liar, no. Shoulda. Took a hammer. Man, I should have stayed later. I was just so tired by that point. Like, just 6 hours of like straight off fucking blasting. I was like, nah, I wanted to go upstairs and like use the bathroom of my own hotel room, so the comfort of my life, and then get out and get some food. So that's what I did. That's what I went and did. But yeah, no, it was really fun. It was really fun to go and see what the game has evolved into, and just how much better it feels to play it. What do they spend for one of these events? I don't know. Not a clue. But, you know, it's for them, it's a lot of feedback and a lot of publicity, so it makes sense that they do it. At least 350. Possibly more. Possibly, yeah. Getting all the people together and everything. I do not know. Not my area of expertise anymore. Maybe back when I was in business school, that would have been something I could have known a bit more. Yeah. Just for flights. Yeah. Yep. It adds up quickly. It really does. But, you know. I'm bored with the vision. I mean, honestly, yeah, like, in terms of what the game is now, showcasing itself off and, like, everything like that, I have no hesitations about the future of the game and what it looks like and how it's gonna do. I would assume so, Kaiser, because if you look at like the attendance list, right, I would say that we had third of us were like the hardcore PoE people, a third of us were general kind of more general influencer stuff, and then I would say there was a little bit of press stuff is there as well. So you probably get kind of a nice wide scope of audience, and then you get, you know, the content reward of everyone making content and talking about different stuff, and of course that helps with the algorithm, so you have all that stuff going. Missile mentioned the game was good from now on, so it's basically DPL. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's you know, the reality is that if someone comes in and starts talking or asking questions about it, especially, you know, once everything is said and done, it's a lot easier for me to being happy with a game as a content creator to be like, yes, I've played it, I know it's good. So it's a more refined version of marketing where basically by letting me play a damn good game every single time someone talks about said game and has questions about it, I positively reinforce that their game is good. Not because I'm getting paid to, but because I got the opportunity to play it and I know it's a good game. So yeah, it's like, it, you know, in that regard, it's very easy. Dosa game? It's a Dosa game. I haven't seen anything from Summer Games Fest. Showing a genuinely good product. I know, right? Sometimes it works, man. Turns out if you got a good product, you, It's an Indian food? I see. You'll just remember it because of the good name. Dosa. Oh. But graham rice crepe. Huh. Okay. Fuck yeah. Also got one of these for free. A 256 gig data traveler storage device for keeping our footage on. So that's nice. That's actually kind of handy for me because I didn't have a good storage device for that kind of stuff. You're hard on the go. Hell yeah. You're hungry now? Dude, I'm like tired and my voice is fading. Like every conference? I mean, true, yeah. Oh, really, DPL? Yeah, a lot of those got hit by that, no doubt. But yeah, it was really cool meeting, like, all the Always USB sticks. Makes sense. They're relatively cheap to give out. Yeah, it was a really cool meeting. You know, all the other content creators of the PoE stuff. It was great. You go bankrupt eating your own stock. Yeah, same nugget. Yeah. Hope they show endgame later. I'm sure they will at some point. The feedback they got from a lot of people was in return to I think once they have a general idea of what it's gonna look like, they'll talk about it, because they did have a lot of people give that feedback of show people what the end game looks like, show what a more later progression, build looks like. They got that from a lot of people. I'm fully aware that they know people want to see what the end game looks like, or like what end game builds look like, but I also feel like it's not necessarily the worry that I think most people should have. In terms of like the overall refinement of what the builds are going to look like and what characters are going to feel like to play, you get a general idea from just like the first 2 acts. Way more than you would in like PoE1 currently. I think once people start seeing what the builds, or what people did at this playtest, I hope that alleviates some fear from people. I mean, true, yeah, it makes sense, 95% of the game, but it's 95% of the game to us, right? Versus the wider audience appeal is the campaign. Campaign in a game, yeah. I would say like, yeah, I by the midway point of Act 2, you get a general feeling for it. I mean, D4 is the campaign. Maps are bonus. I mean, kind of, yeah. Uh, let's see. Scrolling through some stuff. Super secret knowledge. No, I have none of that. No way. Okay. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. I spent most of the campaign just testing shit. Yeah, basically. I mean, that's pretty much what I did. And then I landed on the thing I had. So no, it's still in the air, Boxer. In terms of like overall what it is, how it's gonna function, how it's gonna play. It's still in refinement. Thanks. I don't think we'll have any concrete information about it until probably beta. Hope so. We'll see. Trying to think if there was anything like a specific zone that I can use. I don't think there was. I'll have to look through the footage. I'd have to look through the footage. I know there is one zone I could use. I was like halfway through the play session. Yeah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be worried about it. I had to pause there for a sec to like really think, but no, I wouldn't be worried about it. I'd say that in general it'll feel fine. There will still be builds that are like we have builds today.
Impressive, Challenger.
I don't see the streak.
Well, that's probably because you washed your underwear. Good shit. Thank you so much, Lone Song, for the 44 months. I appreciate you sticking around. Won't be as bad as D4. I mean, no, it's definitely gonna be good. It's definitely gonna be good. Don't harm me. I'm just tired, man. I'm just reaching the end of my battery. Fucking hell. Oh man. Because yeah, like I said, I don't know how long today's gonna be.
Nobody ever. All right. It's your funeral.
Just had breakfast taco for dinner DRGR fat roll.
Shit, and a breakfast taco for dinner? That's some good stuff. That's the real way to do it. Thanks so much, Anime, for the 34 months and the tier 3. Appreciate that. It starts breaking as it gets tired. Yeah, it does. It definitely does. Hope you're doing well. Revive my skillet. Ah, shit. Fuck yeah. It's a Makarov chain response. Yeah, kind of, honestly. I will say that the hotel we stayed at, their like breakfast sampler plate was kind of like, I don't know, kind of lame. You can get a much better breakfast sampler plate at like IHOP. I had 5 guys. The donor party was lit. Where's everyone? I don't know. Somewhere. Hiding in the weeds. Trying to think of what else to talk about, what else to say. Marriotts and casinos. I would say the other food was okay. Like the dinner one was good, but where the MTX is ported over. I didn't discuss MTX with anybody. I don't know if some other interview did. I just went in and talked about bossing and what that meant and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm assuming they're still on the same stance as they were originally with MTX. But yeah. I'll just buy it anyways. I would assume that they're not changing their model too much. No, we didn't see any MTX, no. No. We were bare bones. About endgame bossing? Nah. And endgame really hasn't been discussed other than like it's still being fine-tuned. Buying stash tabs or not? I don't think anything was talked about it yet. No. It's because I'm trying to think if there was any mentions of it. No, I don't remember anything. We didn't have a stash available to us in the client. I checked. No stash was available, so the stash was there. They just didn't have anything. We just share a couch, which I shared a couch with myself. I played solo. Then I had Balor and Cat next to me playing co-op. So my co-op experience was from them. Whenever I looked over or I was eating or anything like that, I checked out what they were doing, and that was my last for dodgeball. Now I just played by myself because I wanted to go and test out the stuff and check out my list of things and all that stuff. So it was good for me that way. Got farther. Don't have a couch. But yeah, no, it was good. In that regard, I got what I wanted. Stuff I could test.
Really? Nobody ever? Alright. It's your funeral.
Aloe vera, it has been many moons, I barely remember how to aloe.
Barely remember how to aloe. You grab the plant, you shave off a thin layer of it, and just rub it all over yourself. Don't worry, it works every time. Thanks so much, Bits, for the 36 months. Damn. That's a long time. Appreciate the tier 3 as well. On top of the 36. Yeah, don't use the spiky bits. You want to take off the... Use a cactus instead. Dude, my throat feels like I ate a cactus. Fucking hell. That's a long ass bit. Indeed. Indeed. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know how long I can go today. I'm fading very quickly. Drag and restart the sting. You're surprised I'm live? I landed this morning at 7 a.m., drove home, and went straight to bed. And then I woke up and started streaming. I have not put out any videos, Bits. Everything I can do and put content out on is under the embargo. So the first 2-ish hours of the stream were me going over the things I can talk about, and then everything else has to wait until the embargo lifts. Gotcha, Hunts. Yeah, that'll happen. How long's the embargo? Next week. PoE2 rant. I got nothing to rant about. I've got nothing to rant about. Anything new in the demo? New is in comparison to ExileCon, or new as in comparison to like what? To ExileCon? Yeah, I mean it's a lot more full-flashed. Like, we got to play through like the act as a full thing. Yeah, it's not buggy, no. Not as buggy. It's yeah. I talked about it earlier, but yeah, the game feels like 10 times fucking better. It's so fucking good. Waiting for the FF14 new expansion. Was the gameplay fun? The gameplay's really good, yeah. I got through halfway through Act 2. is how far I got. I've never resources to use skills. Resources to use skills. Like, did I have enough? Yeah, I missed a gun. Yeah, I used the well like twice. I would say that in what I said, I played 5 hours. I used the well twice. Yeah, no, it wasn't a problem. Not this time. Generator spender, no. That's fine. That's what I was used last time. Yeah. Yeah, no, I would still say like I probably still use Flask about as much in some regards. A little bit less, but you did get enough charges back. Was the C+ just slower? It was faster than the current Act 1 campaign. I'll say it that way, because I can't really go into specifics. Where did I get this cough from? Because, you know, in terms of what we played, yeah. As the gossip, enjoy bits. I'll probably end up ending streaming here in a little bit. I'm like way too tired. I'd love to shoot the shit more, but I need rest. PoE2 has over 100 bosses. Yeah, it's pretty boss intensive. And campaigning for us. But yeah, no. I would not be worried about the speed of the game at all. Yeah, they played for the 2 nights in the hotel, the flight, and dinner and breakfast for the 2 nights. Welcome back, Welditch. Because certain things are embargoed, Viraj, and if you did those things, you're under the embargo. And I did only those things. Yeah, it was a proper tour, man, yeah. So, like, what me and Jonathan discussed was relevant to the thing that is embargoed. Thus, I can't talk about it. So I am like straight up embargoed on everything. Like I mega shot myself in the foot where I just can't discuss anything until I get approval from the footage side. I had MFing. Yeah, that's what I did. I went in and started MFing the whole time. How many of them were weebs? I did not ask that as a specific question. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to say, cover, or do. Because I don't really want to boot up another game today, and I'm just like way too tired. Yeah, that sounds about right, Roger. A lot of people said, like, yeah, we would love to make it so that we could play with both. Like honestly, like I think it's a testament to how much people love playing on the controller, because a lot of us there were like, I would love to be able to hot swap. It did it because it felt good in both ways. So like being able to just pick up a controller and do some like mapping and stuff with that, and then put the controller down and then use your UI for stuff. That would make it feel really, really powerful. Yeah. Not powerful, like smooth. Is that it? Is that what I'm saying? Is that what I'm doing? Is that where we're ending it today? Smooth like brain, yes. Brain is very smooth. Yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna end it today. I'm just like, I'm too tired. My ability to make a coherent thought has just like absolutely disappeared. So it's probably best that I don't push it too far today, and we can do a full day tomorrow. Just, I don't know, go play Death Must Die or whatever we end up doing to do whatever we enjoy doing. Glad to be back home. Excited about PoE2. Excited to share about stuff with you guys once the stuff is lifted. That's pretty cool. And yeah. Good shit. Looking forward to more. Fuck yeah. I'm like I said, I'm super excited about, like, I want to talk about like the full experience, but I'll make some content, make some videos, get those approved, and then we can sit down and have ourselves a discussion. Good shit. Yeah, Raj, Swoops, Romantics, Glows, D-Lands, Wilditch, DPLs, Mysticons, Barrages twice, Kethrals, Bits, Lone Songs, Animes. Y'all have yourself a good one. Enjoy. And the Bits, Animes, Lone Songs, Uncles, Arcanes, Goops, Spies, appreciate the resubs, as always. I know I was gone for like 5 days. Yeah. I'll be back tomorrow for more